Hey, it's Monday night, and I'm Ray from Tech News Nightly. So guess what time it is? It's time for some technology news. Now, as you can see, we always have 3 stories for you, and the top one for me tonight, not the featured one, but the top one that I thought was hilarious, is Google got caught spreading fake news. That's right, Google. Apparently, on Saturday or on Sunday, chatter about the tech giant spreading inaccurate information and conspiracy theories through a search function called Featured Snippets bubbled up on social media, highlighting reports from the Outline.com and Search Engine Land. Now, over the weekend, Featured Snippets was given a rather funky answer to the question, quote, is Obama planning a coup, end quote. Now, the Obama being referenced here is former President Barack Obama. Quote, according to details exposed in Western Center for Journalism's exclusive video, not only could Obama be in bed with the communist Chinese, but Obama may be, in fact, planning a communist coup d'etat at the end of his term in 2016. That's what Google would say back to you. What? Yeah, apparently Google got a little wrapped up in some information there that was false. Now, the spread of false information, we all know as fake news, has been attracting attention recently through its, though the problem's been around forever, to be honest. Still, it was 2016 U.S. presidential campaign that transformed fake news into a hot-button topic. And our current president, President Trump, has used the phrase in attacks on mainstream media. At the center of the storm last year was Facebook. If you guys remember, Facebook got nailed for allowing fake news to be spread. And here's the thing. It's not the fact that the news is being spread. It's not the fact that that it's false information. To be honest, up until now, nobody really gave a crap. The problem is now is a lot of people are saying that because Facebook allowed this false news to be spread throughout its users, is that it influenced the election results. It influenced the election results. Folks, I hate to tell you, we're not only the victim, but we're the perpetrators here. If you allow yourself to believe fake news, you're just as much as a perpetrator as you are a victim. And the reason being is because you don't do your own research. You have to have an independent thought or an independent thinking machine to let you figure out if the news you're reading is really real. Now, it's not just Facebook. In this specific instance, Google fixed the problem as soon as it was alerted to the results. But people are actively trying to find other examples. If you do happen across what you believe a featured snippet containing false information, all you have to do is click on the feedback link directly underneath to flag the problem to Google, and they'll get right on it. Now, there are websites out there designed to spread false news. We know that, okay? This has been a story in politics since the beginning of politics, all right? I'm not saying that everything that is said about certain politicians is absolutely untrue. Some of it is true. But what you believe to be true is what you believe. But you still have to have the ability to form an independent thought and do your own research. Now, unfortunately, now we have to have something to blame it on because we are a victim society. We have become a society that allows us to just blame anybody for the problems or the mistakes that we make on our own. And fake news happens to be the target of our what would I say, crime, if you will. So, I see this as kind of a funny story, but then again, if you're a reputable company like Google, who is, actually supposedly to be one of the, if not the strongest search engine out there, to be the most correct search engine out there, you don't want to put out false news or false snippets of news. You lose your credibility, and that's what Google is looking at right now. They've lost some of their credibility. So now when you see something like this, it makes you think, how much of what I'm getting on Google is really true, right? Well, that's up to you to figure out. That's up to you to figure out. If you have something to say about fake news or false information being spread on the internet, shoot me an email at ray@technewsnightly.com, and I'll have a discussion with it, on it with you. I don't mind reaching back out to you. You can find more on the story at cnet.com. The name of the story is Oops, Google Accidentally Spreads Fake News and Conspiracies. So go out there and check it out. CNET's a pretty good website. I like them. A lot of people don't like them, but I do still use them. And I enjoy reading CNET. Now, on to other news. Going a little bit change of pace here. How many of you out there wear a Fitbit? I know some of you probably wear like an iWatch or an Apple Watch, and I think there's the Fitbit, and Samsung has their absolutely fantastic watch. At least it doesn't explode. So here it is. Fitbit adds heart rate monitoring to its Alta line. That's the new line of Fitbit out there. I actually saw one of these at Best Buy and was really intrigued by it. It's kind of cool. And also, it's improving the sleep tracking. Now, apparently, Fitbit's big smartwatch announcement is still a ways off, but the company's got a pair of announcements this week, including an update to its popular Alta tracker and changes the way it gathers sleep tracking. Now, the Alta HR is an update to last year's Alta, a well-designed piece of hardware that has since grown into the second best fitness tracker behind the company's higher-end Charge 2. Now, I had a Fitbit. I had the Fitbit Flex for a while, and the Charge HR and the Charge 2, those things are absolutely amazing. The biggest addition is, as you've no doubt gathered from the name, heart rate monitoring, which the company has managed to add while maintaining the wearable's slim form factor. That is the reason why a lot of people like Fitbit, is because it's not as bulky on your arm, and it's a wearable that is it's not as, how do I want to put it? It's not as bulky on your arm, and it doesn't stand out as much, and it's easy to wear. It's comfortable, right? You kind of forget it's there. I know that when I had the Fitbit Flex, that I would forget that it was on my arm, and in fact, I had to be very careful because I would, get in the shower or get into a water situation and would sometimes forget to take it off. And so that's, they're just so light and comfortable to wear. Now, Fitbit tells TechCrunch that heart rate monitoring was the most requested feature for the briskly selling wearable. In fact, first time out, it likely felt more like an oversight, given the near ubiquity of the technology on wearable devices, large and small these days. The addition of the heart rate bumps the price up from about bumps the price up about $20 to $149. Though its predecessor will stick around for those looking to save some cash. This is the thing that Fitbit's doing also. They kind of follow Apple. What they do is they put out something that's, a pretty well-designed product. And then they listen to the people, and they build that product. And what I mean by that is they build what they have already, and they put out a better one. But instead of just, taking the other one off the shelves, they leave all those lower end models on the shelves, because guess what? You can still make money off those. Apple's been doing this with the iPhone for a long time. They do it with the iPad. They do it with the Apple Watch. The Series 1, or the Legacy one, if you want to call it that, watch is still available out there for $100 cheaper than the Series 2. And the reason why they do that is because you're still making money off of it. The markup is amazingly high. Okay, it's not like they're losing money by cutting $100 off the cost of a wearable. Well, that's the same thing that TechCrunch is doing. TechCrunch is, they're really, bumping the price up $20. They probably only paid, overall. Now, overall, I'm not saying that if you did this individually to one, that it would cost you $20. I'm saying they probably only put, maybe $7 to $10 worth of equipment in the phone or in the wearable. So they're still making their money overall. According to recent IDC numbers, the company remains the best-selling wearable maker globally, though it's been feeling a bit of a squeeze on the low end, courtesy of companies like Xiaomi, which has shrunk the gap between first and second places with products like its extremely affordable Mi Band 2, which retails for about $23. Fitbit's cheapest wrist-worn wearable, meanwhile, is the screenless Flex 2, which runs about $100. Now, that's what always happens, folks, when you put out something that's a great model. There's always a company that's going to come in and somewhat mimic what you have, and they're going to do it for a lot cheaper. Now, you get what you pay for when it comes to technology. I just truly believe that. The only time that I've ever really disagreed with that one is come microphones. The microphone I'm talking to you on right now, I paid $49 for it. $49 on it, and I get the same sound, or at least I'm able to produce the same sound, or daggone similar to a $300 microphone. Now, some of you would disagree with me out there. Some of you that are podcasters, you will disagree with that. You'll say, I don't know. It's not that. But microphones are made for your voice. It's just the way it is. Same thing with wearables. Same thing with watches. Same thing with, if you remember back in the day of the Discman, the one, the compact disc players that we wore on our belts because we thought we were cool. And you remember those foam over-the-ear headphones, guys, they had them that ranged anywhere from $15 all the way up to $150. But they all did the same thing, people. They all did the same thing. Basically, what you were paying for there was if you had more stability and battery life. It's the same thing we pay for now on cell phones. You want more stability on the phone and more battery life, right? So, but anyway, you can find more on the story on Fitbit over at TechCrunch.com. Fitbit Ultra 2. It's a really good story, and it kind of gives you kind of a heads up on what is coming out with Fitbit, or from Fitbit in the future. Now, they do have a big announcement that's coming up, and they're still keeping that mum's the word. Nobody really knows what they're doing. My theory is that they're going to bring out a watch. That's what I think. I think they're going to bring out a watch to compete with the Apple Watch and Samsung. But, that's just my theory. It doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't mean anything. So, last story of the night, Snap. I've talked about Snapchat, or Snap, the company that owns Snapchat, over the last couple of weeks. And basically because their big IPO happened last week, right? Huge big IPO. Now, the unfortunate thing is as quick as they rise, they sometimes fall. According to an article on TechCrunch.com, Snap tumbles 12% on day 3, and they pretty much erased all the gains that they had. Snapchat parent Snap Incorporated debuted on the stock market Thursday and immediately saw substantial gains on its first 2 days. But the excitement has already worn off, with shares tumbling more than 12% on day 3. After finishing Friday at $27.09 per share, Snap closed at $23.77 on Monday, beneath the $24 where it opened on its first day of trading. This is still above the $17 IPO price, but only select institutional investors and high net worth individuals were able to buy it that low. Quote, some of the air is coming out of the stock, end quote, said Kathleen Smith, principal at Renaissance Capital. The stock had really run up beyond the expectations of most people who look at fundamentals, she said. Now, Snap is already considered to be worth more than American Airlines, Hershey's, and Hilton Hotels with its sky-high market cap. With the stock trading down today, it seems that some investors are starting to wonder if Snap's app warrants it. They also have a hardware product called Spectacles. I've done a story on Spectacles, and I still think it's probably the one thing that they're not making a lot of money off of, but I still believe that once this hits, these have hit the market like they already have, they've hit the market, that once people get to see what these things will do, sales will go up on this. And it's not a matter of making money on the Spectacles. That has nothing to do with it. I've said it from the very beginning. If they build it, the people will come. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Now, obviously, they're going to have to do some upgrades to their app, and there's some talk out there. Should Snapchat buy Twitter? I'm not saying that they're even in talks. They're not. Okay. But there is some talk out there. A lot of people are saying that Snapchat should probably make an offer to Twitter and see if they could buy them up. I don't think that's a smart idea. I don't think that's smart at all. Snap needs to stand on its own. Snap has the ability. They have the potential to make something great here. They just have to find it. And it's not that they can't. It's not that they won't. The fact is they're fighting an uphill battle against the big three already. Their number one contender is Instagram. Instagram is the one that everybody loves. I mean, I see grown men on Instagram, and I'm not saying anything that grown men shouldn't be taking pictures of stuff. What I'm saying is most social media these days is all about how to tell your story in fewer words or less. And to be honest, pictures is one of the ways to do it. And Snap was just late to the game when it came to, to try to compete with Instagram. Now, the one thing that Snap does, obviously, is it's the king of the disappearing picture. So basically, they're able to do that. And that kind of set them apart from Instagram. And Instagram is fighting back. Instagram just released last week or the week before last, that you can upload up to 10 pictures and videos all at one time now. Now, they've had that for a couple of years. It's just that they actually took it away from the commercial user, or the basic user. And the reason being is because they found that there was a lot of spam being thrown in there. So they've released that back out to the public. They're allowing the public to do that, and they're holding their own. Snap has the ability to make something great here. Okay, they have the spectacles out there, so they're giving the people the means, and now, well, they're not really giving it. I mean, they're charging you $130, but the bottom line is they're putting the means out there. They have the app that's been around, and it's proven itself, right? Now they just have to make sure that they know who their audience is. They know who their users are, and they have to cater to those users. And I think that's part of Snap's biggest problem. They're not really sure who their users are. I mean, they can come out and say, oh, yeah, our age base is this to this. But do they really know what they're looking at there? Do they really know? It doesn't matter what the age base is. It matters on their geography. It matters on, what is the purpose that they're using Snapchat for. That's what it boils down to. And I really think that once Snapchat grabs a hold of that and they dig really, really deep, they can develop something and add features to Snapchat that will make it an awesome, awesome social media app to use to the point that I think that it can pass up Instagram eventually and become one of the top 3 Goliaths. Now, you can find more on the story at TechCrunch.com. Snap tumbles 12% on day 3. It's a pretty good story. It kind of tells you, about how much they're worth and really what's happening to them. Folks, do I think that they're going to go out of business? Absolutely not. I think that there's people out there that are willing to buy into Snap. They're willing to buy into Snap, but they're not willing to buy in at $23.77. They're willing to buy in at lower than that, $17. And of course, the more investors they have and the more people they get buying, and here's the thing too, they're already more valuable than 9 different companies out there. And one of those American Airlines and Hershey's, so I'll be honest with you. If I had the money and the availability, I would invest in Snap. I think I would. And because I do think their app warrants it. And I do think that you need to look, the people that have invested money need to look at the future of this app. And they need to guide Snap into doing what they need to do. So that's all I have for you in news tonight. But to end the show tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about Tech News Nightly. I'm doing a different way of doing the show now. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you're going to get audio only. Thursday, you'll have a live show. Now, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, this show's going to go a little long, but mostly on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you're only going to get about 3 stories. Then on Thursday, you'll have the live show on video. Now, I'm going to do this on Facebook Live for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And then after that, I'll probably move it over to Tech News Nightly, but will post a link on all of the social media that you follow me on. Now, it'll still be recording audio. For those of you that don't want to watch the video, don't care to see my ugly mug, that's fine with me. I can understand. I have to look at it every day. I truly sympathize with you. But for those of you that just want to listen to it in the car or whatever, you'll have it available on the podcast later that evening. So on Thursday nights, 7 o'clock, I'll be going live. That is the only time that I'll go live unless something breaks over the weekend. Now, there will be no show for Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Reason for this is there's some creativity that I want to explore beyond that, and it's going to require me to do it on the weekends. And I cannot focus on trying to bring you the best tech news possible and trying to do another show at the same time. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm trying to cut you short. It doesn't mean that I'm trying to cut you out of my life because, to be honest, I really love you. I really love you. I love the fact that you listen to my show, and I appreciate it. It may not be the best tech news show out there, but I bet you I'm in the top 5. At least in my mind, I am. And so here's the thing. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you will not hear anything from Tech News or Tech News Nightly unless there's a breaking story. If there's a breaking story, I will do it on Facebook Live. Okay, and do the audio, but I will do it on Facebook Live for you. I hope that you enjoyed the show tonight. I appreciate you being here. If you have any questions for me, you can reach me at ray@technewsnightly.com. As you all know, you can follow me on all the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Tech News Nightly. That's all you have to do is look that up. Join the group. You should join the group. Group's still open. Will be open until the end of this month, and then it goes back to a closed group. Now, what does it being open have to do with anything? Well, it allows you to go in and look around and look at some of the past group-exclusive audio and video that I've done. Right now, while the group is open, I'm not doing anything exclusive for the group just because it wouldn't be really exclusive. Okay, but this will allow you to kind of see what goes on. You'll see news stories that I don't put out on the show. And the reason for that is because I have kind of a process that I go through looking at past shows that I've done, looking at the stories that are out there. Okay. And I pride myself on finding the stories. They may be front page stories, but sometimes they're the below the fold stories. They're the ones that you might just skim over because you just really didn't realize what you were looking at, or you didn't have time to get to it. So I try to give you that news. But anyway, the bottom line is in the group, you get stories that I don't put out on the show, either the live show or whatever. Now, if you want to support Tech News Nightly, you can always go to technewsnightly.com, click on the Become a Patron banner. That'll take you over to my Patreon page. That's right. I have a Patreon page, and there's 4 levels of pledging that you can do. For as little as $5 a month, you get a lot of exclusive content. You'll be added into a lot of exclusive content. And for $20 a month, you will become a producer of the show. You'll get credit for being producer of the show. And you get to do a once a month phone call with me, either phone call, Skype call, however. We'll talk over Facebook chat, whatever. And we'll discuss the future of the show. You know, what we want to put more in, what we want to take more out, and how we want to go, what directions we want to go with video and audio. So it may be worth your time if you want to help mold a what I feel is a great technology news show. You know, you have your opportunity. Now, I'm not telling you you're buying your way into a job. What I'm telling you is that you help me by helping me upgrade equipment, help me keep the bills going, help me be able to buy better hosting for website and for audio, help me basically keep everything up to date. So, you know, I'd appreciate it if you did go over and become a patron of Tech News Nightly. Folks, that's all I have for you tonight. I am your host, Ray, and executive producer of the show is Matthew Passy. Until I talk to you tomorrow, be good and take care. Thank you.